the serenity to accept the things I cannot change. Courage to change the things I can. And wisdom to know the difference. Living one day at a time. Enjoying one moment at a time. Accepting hardships as the pathway to peace. Taking as he did this sinful world as it is, not as I would have it. Trusting that he will make all things right if I surrender to his will. That I may be reasonably happy in this life and supremely happy with him forever in the next.
Olá, olá, olá vocês, como estão,
Olá queridos, como é que vocês estão? Olha, nós estamos aqui novamente e já passaram nossas 2 semanas e voaram. Estamos aqui, esperamos que vocês tivessem tido uma semana, uns dias bons, especialmente com saúde, paz. E estejam todos bem, estejam aqui conosco mais este episódio, que é o 8º agora aqui no YouTube.
36, E eu queria dizer, antes da gente começar agora, porque há 2 semanas eu vi o podcast e disse, a gente tem que falar, a gente tem que introduzir a gente, porque pessoas novas que estão vindo não sabem isto bem o que é. So, isto é um podcast que eu, mais a minha mãe, quisemos fazer. Depois de...
mais ou menos, que é 1 ano e tal.
1 ano e tal, a gente começaram num outro lugar e acabamos 28 episódios lá, através de Palma Media e a nossa querida amiga Marisa Silva Rocha, que ela fez entrevista a gente e a gente pegou dali. E ainda estamos nisto.
Continuamos.
Porque a gente sabe que as pessoas precisam, que necessitam. E as pessoas que estão à espera disto 2 em 2 semanas. Se vocês têm o ser viciado ou viciada.
Este programa nasceu para que a nossa comunidade portuguesa falar sobre a droga e o álcool, algum membro de família muito difícil e, como eles dizem, é taboo, quer dizer, não se fala para ninguém saber, ninguém vai saber, isso é das nossas portas para dentro, e só pensamos disso, se é dessa minha experiência de um filho, meu filho, que desde muito novinho começou a seguir o caminho da droga, e a irmã, Nancy, também teve as suas dificuldades e resolvemos as duas fazer isso, falar sobre a minha história.
História de família, really.
De família, sim, exatamente. Não, como eu disse no princípio, não falar sobre o meu sucesso, o nosso sucesso no sentido que o nosso filho com 51 anos hoje, infelizmente continua na droga. É este o caminho dele, é este o caminho que infelizmente ele seguiu, e talvez se ele quisesse acordar desta vida assim, não, chegou a um ponto que já não podia. No início tentamos ajudá-lo da melhor maneira possível. Isso principiou nos anos de 80, eu não sabia nada disto, porque nunca... Eu vim aqui para este país em 68, Depois casei, não, nunca tinha visto. Eu vi uma vez por herói que ele falando assim, foi para a droga, está na droga, e diz, ai, coitadinho, ai, pô, a família, que coisa, que desgosto, não tem família, mas vê-nos bater à porta. Sim. E quando nos vê bater à porta, eu não sabia o que fazer. O meu marido, mais ou menos, estava metido nisso, porque ele também era, he was an alcoholic. Yes. So ele já estava, ainda continuava, mas depois ele ficou, in sobriety, yes. Ele ia para os AA meetings, yes. Ia com ele e tudo, e eu comecei a infiltrar-me nesta coisa, e eu comecei a aprender, e depois quando me introduziram para começar a ir para essas reuniões do Al-Anon, eu julgava que ia para lá, como eu já disse aqui, a primeira reunião que eu fui, eu julgava que ia para lá, que ia aprender uma maneira, um método de curar o meu filho. Eu pensei assim, eu vou, porque eu vou aprender alguma coisa, para depois vir para casa e introduzir ao Babi e ele vai se curar dessa coisa, desse vício da droga. Mas foi totalmente o contrário. Eu não fui para lá para aprender, eu fui para lá para conhecer o que é que ele se envolver, para saber aquilo que é, mas para tomar conta de mim própria.
It's almost like they put an armor, they give you an armor to learn how to not let it affect you in your heart, especially.
Porque afeta muitas famílias que ficam sem controle dos filhos, porque pronto, não os podem controlar e depois eles ficam cada vez mais envolvidos. Yes. E se vivem em casa o problema ainda é maior, porque depois há muitos pais que não querem, que querem eles em casa, porque eles perguntam assim, mas onde é que o meu filho vai para a rua, como é que vai ser? Eles se entram num programa, se é ou... eles não querem, podem não querer.
Podem sair quando quiserem.
Vão e vêm.
Se não há mandado para a corte.
Sim, se a corte os manda para um programa, eles têm que ir.
Yes.
Mas, infelizmente, com o teu irmão, a corte nunca o mandou para um programa.
Mandou, mas não tinha cama.
Sim, aquela vez que ele saiu, era para ele ficar lá uns dias e a gente zangados com esse sistema, infelizmente, porque quando eu fomos levá-lo lá para ele ficar naquela noite já ali, eles disseram logo, I'm sorry, mas não temos uma cama para ele. We don't have a bed for him.
What are you supposed to do now?
So, experimenta daqui a 2-3 dias. Claro, 2-3 dias. Eu no meu coração já sabia que era muito tarde para o Babi. E ele foi porque eu fui com ele e eu fui levar lá essa coisa toda. Porque eu sabia que ele não tinha bem certeza. Mas se não fosse naquela hora, não ia ser mais. E foi direto. Quando ele veio para casa já no outro dia, ele já saiu de casa e nunca mais voltou. Ele nunca mais foi... Pronto, aquilo para ele foi uma alegria, não está de baixo. E depois é quando eles ficam desaparecidos, fogem da polícia para não serem apanhados. E foi o que teu irmão fez a sua vida toda.
Sim. Infelizmente, a coisa de vício e viciadas e vício, it's a roller coaster ride of emotions. You are mad, angry, sad, hurt, upset. And as we promised you guys, that we would maybe have interviews in the show at some point. And we have a very, very, very special guest here today. Our first guest, which is fitting because she believed in us from the beginning.
She did.
And it's an honor and a privilege to have her here with us.
Yes.
So without further ado, I'd like to introduce you all to someone you probably already know.
Everybody knows
or
her.
have heard of her. But it's Marisa Silva Rocha, Fadista, and so much more. But Fadista from Little Portugal, San Jose, Hilmar, she goes all over sharing her beautiful gift with everyone.
Beautiful voice. That
So without further ado, Marisa, welcome to Caminhada.
Marisa.
Thank you so much to both of you guys for having me here today. I feel honored to be the first guest. I had no idea.
Yes, querida.
And then 36 episodes. That is an accomplishment.
Oh,
Congratulations.
thank you. Thank you
Thank you,
so
querida,
much.
so much.
But you know, querida, the truth is you, when I first met you, we did an interview for your podcast, your show, Uma Conversa, and when we did that show, I felt an instant connection to you in a way that I felt like we need to work together. We need to try to change something in the world together.
I believe it was episode 16 or something like that, and that was the first episode, which there was 50 of them. That was the first episode that I cried.
Oh, that's
my
right.
God.
Oh.
That was so crazy. Well, it's because, you know, what you guys are doing and what you guys are talking about, just like Mama Trizinga said, it is a taboo subject that our culture likes to sweep under the rug.
Yes.
Unlike some cultures that are basically stereotyped or known for this, for example, Native Americans, they have a bad stereotype and reputation for being drug addicts and alcoholics. But in all reality, this type of addiction exists in every culture, in every single culture. And Portuguese people, they're very prideful people. They are very proud. And like Mama Trizinga said, this is something you keep indoors. You the porta para dentro, and that's it.
Yes.
And, you know, she said something 2 weeks ago that really was touching because she was talking about Antiga Men's. Everybody drank, so they didn't see a problem with that. But the problem is that it also snowballed into other problems. Like, for example, she mentioned some of the men would go home after being in the taberna or wherever they were, and they would go home and they would start problems with their wives, and they would beat them. And this is something that is still relevant today. And actually, during the pandemic, when everybody had to stay home and everybody was either getting laid off or working from home, they had the highest rates of women being killed by their
wow.
Yes, because, you know, they had to be home all day with their significant other, just got the chills everywhere, and a lot of them were literally being killed. So I think this is a very important subject, not only for our culture, but in general, because a lot of people go through addiction, whether it be their family, their direct family, or their friends.
Right.
And we can see this, and we can see them passing away at younger and younger ages.
Right. I know that addiction has touched your life in several ways, both personally and emotionally. And I know for you, I just wanted to say, when you were around people who were addicted, what were some of the warning signs that made you think that the person was using?
Okay, so one of the things, there's two things here. So one of the things is I have friends that always had to be on. When I say on, like, they always have to be the life of the party or the funny one. And to me, when somebody is like that, And it's really weird that I'm saying that because I kind of used to relate to that. I used to be kind of a person like that. And so when I see a person of that nature, even though I never was addicted, when I see a person of that nature that has to be over the top all the time, I just think to myself, wow, that person is definitely using. That's one of the red flags for me, at least. And I've had plenty of friends that were either addicted to alcohol or addicted to other drugs that then snowball to heavier drugs. Actually witnessed some of my friends, which this is like not a proud moment for me, but when before I met my husband and before I was gone, I would go out all the time and we would go to the bar and we would be drinking and everything was fine. I thought it was all in good fun until some of the people started to get a little bit too comfortable and they would totally just whip out, which it took me 25 years to see cocaine in front of me.
I've never seen it, querida.
Oh, okay. Well, thank God for that. It's a shocking thing when everybody is just having a good time, having a beer, relaxing, and then all of a sudden somebody just takes out a bag and literally does a line in front of you. To me, it was disrespectful, but to them, it was as if they were comfortable with me to the point that they could just do that. And that happened several times with different people to the point that I didn't even want to go out with them anymore.
Yes, and it makes it very uncomfortable when you sort of see the signs and then it's like, let's hang out, and you kind of pull back. And that's another thing that we were gonna ask is, when you pull back from those that your friends that are being abusing drugs, when you pull back, how do you let them know that you still love them?
That's a good question. Unfortunately for me, I never did let them know that I love them. And it's kind of a sad thing because, for example, there is one that's coming to my mind that passed away, not from cocaine or anything like that, but he had some substance abuse issues with alcohol, and he did end up passing away at a young age. And no, I never did let him know that. I never did let these friends know that I cared, or I never voiced my opinion towards their lifestyle. I just kind of let them do their thing, and I went off and I did my own thing, and that's probably where I made a mistake in the road. Maybe if I could go back in time, I could tell them, but it's very important to let these people know that, hey, you don't need to be doing this. You're a great person without this stuff.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
And I think that's the problem. I think that's probably what they are definitely lacking. Maybe they have people around them that are enabling them. Maybe they think it's cool. Maybe they think it's fine. They don't really necessarily have somebody to say, hey, why are you doing that? That's not cool. Like, I love you. It's making me sad. And maybe that's why they just keep going and going, because they actually don't have somebody to point it out. And, unfortunately, I was not strong enough to be that person for these people. And I've totally lost touch with some of them over the years. And I'm hoping and I'm praying that most of them have definitely seen the light and have stopped or have a different lifestyle now. But there is one particular friend, which I'm not going to name anybody here, but there is a particular friend that always touches my heartstrings, just because he is still addicted, and he's addicted to something very, very strong, which he has a 6% chance of getting sober from, which is crystal meth.
Same as my brother.
They say that the users of crystal meth have a 6% chance. So if you are somebody that was on crystal meth and you are now clean, you should give yourself a big
miracle.
round of applause, because you are 1 in 6%.
Because
it always makes me sad to think of him, because he is a very important like piece of my puzzle when I talk about like my story and music and all that good stuff. He's a very important piece of the puzzle. And for many, many years, I was, looking for him, not actively looking, but I was definitely looking for him, asking for him. Nobody knew where he was until one fine day, somebody told me, well, he's been at his mom's house. And I said, what? Where is his mom? And then they told me, they gave me the number. And then from that point on, I was in contact. But I, up until that point, did not have experience dealing with a heavy-duty drug addict that's been using for almost a decade of time. Like, literally a decade had flown by since I saw him, almost a decade. And like what Matrazinga said, well, if you catch it early on, maybe you can, help repair what the damage has been done. But if you come around too late, it's almost as if, I'm sorry to say this, it's almost as if it's too late. It's just too late.
Yes, I agree.
It's like they are a shell of their person, but they're not the same person anymore. But they do show you glimpses, like glimpses of their real, natural, normal self do come out. But unfortunately, it is overpowered by this other side. It's almost like a Jekyll and Hyde type of a situation.
Yes, and that's what happened with me with my brother, because you see the glimpse of who that, they still look the same, kind of. The eyes, you can see it in the eyes. And you want to believe that they're not using, but it's like my mom said, it's the chances are, like you said, 6% of meth users.
Marisa, estavas a falar sobre, the methamphetamines, que é o que o Bobby sempre, depois da marijuana, depois methamphetamines, e eu, o que me ajudava muito a lidar e a sobreviver esta situação, porque isto é um dia de cada vez, porque não tens controle absolutamente nenhum da vida do teu filho, da situação do teu filho, não tens controle. E o que me ajudou muito foi, como eu já mencionei aqui várias vezes, foi frequentar muitos retiros, 2 vezes por ano, e eu procurava sempre, era um retiro de 3 dias, e era sempre quando havia retiros sobre addiction. Eu ia e uma ocasião que eu fui, que era um padre mesmo que fez o retiro, ele até escreveu um livro que eu penso...
Yes.
Tens este livro, não é?
No, she let someone read it.
Exatamente.
It's God Loves an Unmade Bed.
Exato.
Yes, thank you.
E quando ele naquela... Porque sim, a coisa que é a esperança é a última a morrer. Eu sei que o meu filho não é o mesmo que tu, exatamente como disseste, is a shell. It's not Bobby. Eu sei isso, mas uma mãe tem sempre como uma esperança lá no fundo do seu coração, a dizer, a pensar que um dia, mesmo que eu não esteja aqui neste mundo, mesmo que eu não esteja aqui, e ele muda a sua vida, porque quando este padre disse, como tu acabaste de dizer, que 6% é que salvam desta metanfetamina, ele disse mesmo isso. Quando ele disse, senhor, 6%, será que o Bobby vai ser um desses 6%? Porque ele lidava muito com os estudantes, addicts, e então eu disse, bem, 6%, sabe-se lá se o Bobby vai ser um desses 6%. E é bastante difícil ouvir isso.
Yeah. Like you said, you should be proud if you're one of those 6%.
Porque é considerado milagre.
Yes.
Oh my gosh, yes, exactly. And so when I got back in contact with this person, I was, over the moon, overjoyed. I was very naive because, like I said, I didn't have experience with this type of severe situation. I've had some experiences with people using, especially using in front of me, but I didn't have this kind of experience. So when I went into it, I was just like that. I was hopeful and had faith that maybe he could definitely be a part of that 6%. And I actually know people who were on meth and who are clean now. So I know that it can definitely happen. But as I would meet with him monthly, it would just honestly, I've talked to Nancy about this. It would honestly just drain me. It would exhaust me. When I would be there for 1 hour or 2 hours, I would leave there completely empty, as if I gave him my all, and it was all for nothing in a way. And
it's frustrating.
like I said, they show glimpses of themselves, but they're not completely themselves. So it's kind of like when you're doing like these monthly visits, like I was doing, or trying to do, or every other month, or whatever it was, I was pretty consistent. But it's almost as if they give you an attitude of ungratefulness.
Yes.
It's almost like they take you for granted, and they're begging for love and they're begging for friendship, but then it's like
they can't handle
I'm
it.
getting drained here, and it came to a point where I just wanted to accept him for who he was now. But like I said, it ends up being unhealthy, and then you try to put yourself in the shoes of the people who actually live with him, and you try to flip the switch and you try to help them out, and because you see that you already accepted the person for who they are, they're not going to get off drugs, this is what they want to do, this is their lifestyle, okay, you accept them, you love them for who they are, and now you try to help the people that live with them, because now you're worried for their well-being. Will they be alive tomorrow, for example?
Yeah, you're absolutely right. My mom has a friend.
I have a friend, also, que tem filho que vive em casa e que está nessas situações também assim, tal qual que me tiveste aí a explicar. E o problema que é, quando eu falo com a mãe, ela diz-me, eu não o posso pôr na rua, porque ele, para onde é que ele vai? E ele não, mentalmente, parece que mentalmente ele não está de onde deve estar. Eu vou-lhe pôr na rua, vai-lhe acontecer. Mas acontece que eu tenho tanta pena desta senhora, dos pais dessa pessoa, desse homem, que já têm a sua idade, não são velhos, mas quer dizer, já têm a sua idade, e que
you should be enjoying life.
Sim, estão trabalhando very hard, ela e ele trabalham very hard. E a coisa que me doeu mais é quando esta mãe me disse que eles quase não dormem durante a noite, porque ele dorme durante o dia e à noite está acordado e faz muito barulho e parte coisas e anda para trás, para a frente no quarto, tudo, e eles estão vendo isso e têm que se levantar às 5 horas da manhã, 5:30 da manhã para ir trabalhar, e há muitos dias que esta mãe não dorme absolutamente nada e tem que ir trabalhar. É isto aí é que me pisa. Já experimentaram por assim numa daquelas casas de cura e tudo, ele está lá uns poucos dias, mas depois sai, não quer estar lá, e muitos nem sequer quer ir, muitas das vezes. Só numa situação dessas é um bocado difícil.
Mas ele tinha amigos que ele visitar e ele disse
ele não quer ninguém, porque isso é mesmo assim, eles ficam muito querem estar sós e estão no seu próprio mundo, que a gente não conhece aquele mundo. E aqui há tempos, quando eu estava lendo o livro do Jorge Eduardo Vieira, Knocking Doors Down, é interessante que foi uma coisa que eu nem sequer sabia. É que quando o Carlos começou a dizer a sua história, comecei a ver o que é que meu filho pensava, o que é que meu filho dizia, como é que ele pensava, o pensamento, disse, deve ser o Bobby também passou por isso assim. E a gente sabia que ele envolver-se em metanfetaminas depois disso tudo. E quando ele mencionou assim, metanfetaminas é a droga do pobre, quer dizer, o pobre faz ideia que droga deve ser uma droga assim.
Cheap.
They
make it with whatever.
Whatever que eles podem encontrar. E ainda se a pessoa ainda fica...
Meth is cheap.
Mas pronto.
$2, $3.
A pessoa tem que roubar para poder ter a droga. Mas quer dizer, no sentido da gente mais sentir aquela dor e não poder fazer nada, que as nossas mãos estão amarradas.
E amigas, e amigos, e irmãos, a gente tudo tem viciado.
A família toda.
A gente passa por isto. E why do you think, Marisa, that it's so taboo in our culture?
It's just because we are people that want to be perfect all the time, at least to the eyes of the public. And if we were to admit something like this, like, hey, my dad's an alcoholic, or hey, my dad beats my mom, or hey, my friend or my brother is addicted to meth, they kind of in a way, the public, when I say they kind of in a way judge you as if like you have a problem too, just because that's your family, that's your friend, maybe something is wrong with you, and it's just called a judgment. And I think that's totally wrong. Instead of doing that, we should be helping one another, be sympathetic to one another, try our best not to be judgmental, because addiction can happen to anybody. We see rich people, we see absolutely rich people that are unhappy, and they are like performers and musicians and whatever, they are dying left and right from heroin or alcoholism. And it's not, addiction does not discriminate. It does not only happen to poor people or regular people. It can happen to wealthy people. It can happen to young. It can happen to old. Just like in the episode 2 or 4 weeks ago, when Mama Trezinga talked about how Senor Gilbert was addicted to prescription drugs. Like, that's another thing that can definitely happen. And definitely happens in our culture, where people get addicted to prescription drugs. And just because they are prescription drugs, they don't necessarily view themselves as addicts. And that can just go on and on and on forever, because they think just because it's not a street drug or an illegal drug, they think that it's fine. But it's still a drug, and it's still an addiction, and it's still a problem. And I was actually going to say, with this person, this friend of mine that I was visiting, which, you know, life happens and we all get busy, and definitely the visits stopped when I started to notice that they weren't really doing much of anything. And it's not like I was wasting my time, because I did enjoy my time with him and I did enjoy seeing him, but it also at the same time would break my heart little by little every time that I would go there. So for my own well-being, I kind of distanced myself a bit. And he was to the point that he was so comfortable with me that he would just tell me anything. Like, I would straight up ask him, like, hey, did you have any today, or anything like that? And he would tell me yes, or he would tell me no. And, you know, it came to a point that I don't even know if I can even believe you or trust you. He would tell me so many things, obscure things that just showed me even more so that this person is way beyond reality.
Yes.
Yeah.
Even though I read the book that my Monsters gave me, and you know, I've been following you guys, and I've been doing a lot of stuff on my own, but I'm still not a professional. I will never be a professional in this. And you know, I came to the terms like, no matter what I do, it's not gonna change the situation because he does not want it to change. He would literally just tell me like, isn't there a pill that they make out there for people like me that it has a little bit of meth in it and I could just take the pill and I would be fine? And I'm like, you know, I don't know. I honestly don't know those things, but if there is, and if that's what you want to do, then okay. But still, you guys, it's still, the man still needs that to survive.
Yes, and he's trading in one addiction for another addiction.
Yeah, so it's kind of like, you know, in one way, I see a glimpse that he does want some type of resolution, but then in another way, he straight up told me in my face several times, like, you know, if you're here to make me stop, it's not going to work because I'm not going to stop. This is me, so take it or leave it. And that's why I began to just accept it. But like I told you guys, it was draining me. So I had to put myself and my family first, unfortunately. And I had to distance myself. But I still worry all the time for the people that live with him because they are all very good people. And every time I see them, I always ask, how's it going? And they just tell me it's getting worse. So at this point, it's kind of like either a big intervention happens where he does decide that, yeah, you guys are right, I do need to change, or he's just going to just die from it. Literally just going to die from it.
Yes, and we have to accept that when we love an addict, we have to accept that they could die at any moment.
Yeah, and like you said, Marisa, eles é que têm que fazer a decisão para pararem. A gente não pode mudá-los de maneira nenhuma, experimentamos. Eu sei que uma vez um membro da nossa família, tem que foi o Uncle Lubby, ele viu lá num bar, não sei o quê, e este meu cunhado disse ao Bobby, hey Bobby, porque é que tu não chamas os teus pais? Era quando ele desaparecia por semanas e semanas. Chama para os teus pais, eles não sabem onde estás, fala com ele. E ele dizia, porque é que não vais ver os teus pais? E ele dizia, no, I am an addict and I can't go see my parents. Porque no, it's not, they want me to stop. They want me to have a life without drugs, but I can't see them. I'm an addict. So, eles sabem o que são. Não, enquanto eles ainda estão no seu juízo, quer dizer, depois a droga mais tarde, eles já nem sequer pensam da maneira que devem pensar. E eles fazem assim, pronto, deixam a família, deixam tudo.
Hobbies, their hobbies, like, you know, music or singing or whatever, all that goes, they don't want to do nothing anymore. They don't want to do anything. And someone sitting on the sidelines watching that, it is very painful. It is very painful.
It is very painful.
And you, Marisa, we are so proud to know you, to have you here talking about your experiences with addiction. And I just want you to take a little time for us and for the listeners to tell them about your upcoming CD release and to talk about your music and your new song and all that stuff, because people want to hear good news too.
Yeah.
You know?
Yes, thank you so much for plugging me with that.
Of course.
During these past 2 years, as I was visiting my friend, I was simultaneously working on my CD. And to be in all honesty, he actually inspired me a lot, because not only was he one of the first people to encourage me to sing Fado, it really completed my my soul to find him, to reconnect with him, to play music with him, to sing with him. When I would go there, we would play music together, and it was part of my journey in my CD. So many things happened in 2 years, so many beautiful shows, so many beautiful people I've met, so many people I've connected with, all because of music. So I have God and music to thank, and finally the project has come to a close, and the CD is here, and it is releasing on the 30th.
So good, you guys.
Beautiful.
Say it again, Maris.
Thank you. It is releasing on the 30th, which is of this month, September 30th, and it is my birthday. So we are releasing it on that day, and there is a new single, which is the name of the album, Ishfadu Tamamavu, which is totally different than my first single, Alfama. Alfama was a definitely heartfelt, more somber, you know, a very heavy song. And if you guys have a chance, the music video is on YouTube. All you have to do is look for Alfama, Marisa Silva Rocha. And in that music video, I showcased a little bit more deeper of who I am and where I'm from.
That video tells your story so beautifully.
Thank you so much. And this new single is totally different. It's vibrant, it's fun, it's light, it's happy, it's joyful. And I believe that this is depicting what the future holds. It will be a bright and fun and happiness.
Like Alfama was a time in your life where things were hard, and that music that you sang, that fado has to be sung with heart, and you have to have heart to sing it. So that song,
and actually, it's funny you bring that up, because in the music video, one of the friends that I mentioned here today that already passed away, that was heavy in alcohol, I actually have him in my hands. And it's kind of sad for me to say this, but the 4 people that I'm holding the prayer cards in my hands in the church in that music video, all of them had substance abuse issues. And all of them had deaths linked to that. Okay? So it is a song that really weighs heavy on my heart. And that's why when we met, I said, you know what, this needs to happen. There needs to be some type of program, because before you guys, I didn't know of any program that was talking about this, okay? Especially the program for our community specifically. And as you can see, this is not an uncommon topic. People are literally dying from stuff like this, okay?
Every day. Every day.
Yes.
Every day.
Well, I just want to touch a little bit on your CD, which is, I loved all the songs. Some of them, I know them.
Yes.
But there's one or two that I don't know. I never heard of them. But they're all beautiful. And your voice and everything. Also, the instruments, they are so well played.
Yes.
The guitar, you know, it's just
the sound of your CD.
It's you know, whatever. You guys gotta get that CD.
You guys have got to get it.
You gotta get it.
You gotta get it.
I want to give a shout out to Chico Avila, who was a producer of the CD and who also did Guitarra Portuguesa. I want to give a shout out to Manuel Escobar, who did Viola de Fado on the CD.
I know them very well.
And John Cordeiro, who did the bass on the CD. So I can give them a big shout out.
Oh my God, Manuel Escobar, I know him for years. I know him very,
He plays like a professional.
Yes, and
they
all
call them the OGs of Fado. So
they are
they are the original gangsters of Fado.
Exactly. Yeah, you got it.
Mom, say OG.
OG.
Oh, yeah. OG.
Okay, OG.
OG is original gangster of Fado.
Oh, okay, yes.
Yes, they are the original.
And I also want to shout out Alcide Machad too, because he does a really good job with Bon Samaritain. And
yes, absolutely.
He doesn't have anyone to plug him. And he does amazing work too. And we got to remember that he's available to our community. He's probably one of the only ones available in the community.
He's the only one that's actively hands-on doing things. You know, I appreciate you guys because you guys are doing the tech side of it. You guys are doing podcasts. You guys are doing YouTube. You guys are reaching the masses. He has Bon Samaritano here in Hilmar that hands-on will help anybody that needs help.
Yes, from marital to drugs to everything.
I know one person that Oxygen Shot helped. This person, he paid for everything. I mean,
the rehab.
Saying he paid for the people, the person to be there and all that stuff.
Siege paid.
Well, the organization that he's been going on for. Because it's him, he created that. So he's helping a lot of young people too.
God bless him. God bless. And you know what, Marisa? You bless us all like my mom does with your gift, which is your voice and your heart. Because if you sing Fado, you have to have a heart of gold. Because Fado comes from the heart, and you have one of the biggest hearts of anyone that I know. And I call you my mana, my little sister. I'm very proud of you. I love you so much. And you guys...
Don't make me cry again.
I know. I'm about to cry, too. I'm going to cry already, too. Oh, it's just a bashra. Yeah.
Thank you.
But you have touched many people's lives with your voice and continue. We went to a Fado night that you had, and honestly, when you were singing, Marisa, I was looking around and
everybody was just
there was
focusing.
Not a pin to be dropped. Everyone had their eyes on you, and you heal people with your voice, querida. And whether you're going through drug addiction, whether you're going through depression, whether you're going through anxiety, music is always the answer.
Oh, yes.
Music is always the answer.
You better believe it.
And we want to thank you for being here with us
Thank you, Marisa, very much.
Thank you both. I love you.
We
love you
so much.
We love you so
Well,
much.
I'm not gonna miss the 30th. On the 30th, I think Nessie's going.
Yeah, she's coming with
I'll
me.
be there.
Thank you.
Yes.
I look forward to having you guys here. It's going to be a really fun event. If anyone's listening to this and would like to have a ticket, there are still some tickets available.
But hurry up.
But hurry up because, we only have about 10 or 12 left. So it's going...
do we have our tickets? Oh.
Going really quick. We're going to have the happy hour starts at 5:30. We're going to have Shinja 9 tasting. We're going to have petit souche and charcuterie. And then at 6:30, we're going to have a show with 4 local Fadistas. And then around 7:30, I will do my CD presentation. And it's going to be a really fun.
Where is that? Where is it? If you want to give people your, not your address, but it's in Hilmar, right?
Yes, it's in Hilmar. Yeah. It is going to be at my residence. So if you do want a ticket, the address is confirmed at time of reservation.
Perfect. And you guys get your ticket now. We'll be there. Marisa will be there. You don't want to miss this.
Marisa would be there.
You don't want to miss this new single that she has.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, all of it is amazing.
It's beautiful. All the fathers there
your
love
tribute.
it.
Your tribute, your hero, Amalia. She's proud of you. I know
I love her too. Amalia is one of my favorites too.
Yes. And big beijinhos,
I love Amalia.
Yes.
Me too.
But Amalia probably had tragedies like this in her life too. People addicted.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. So
absolutely. Actually, if you guys have a chance, there is a movie out. It's called Amalia. There is a movie out that was produced a few years back, maybe about 10 years ago, and it is a movie that was made in Portugal that is showing Amalia's life from little girl to the end. And if you have a chance, there is a version of it on YouTube that you can watch for free. It has some parts missing out of it, but it has almost the whole movie there. So if you want to learn about Amalia, you will learn a little bit more about Fadu, but you will learn about the queen of Fadu herself, and I think everybody should watch that movie.
Oh, yeah, we have to check it out.
We have to check that out,
For sure.
It's very, very good, but it's very heavy, but it goes very well with all the themes that we're talking about here on your show, Caminhada. That lady definitely had a very profound caminhada.
Yes.
And it's very worth watching.
Sure did.
She sure did.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for having me.
And we're on your caminhada with you too, querida, because this is gonna explode into a beautiful, everyone's gonna have a copy and we're gonna be singing your songs in our heads. I do now. I'm not supposed to have the CD, but I took one from Marisa on accident. It stayed in my car.
Me too. I took one from on the accident.
You guys are the best.
We
Seriously,
love you.
Beijinhos, querida.
We love you so much. Thank you for being our first guest, querida.
Love you. You guys have a great evening.
You
Love
too.
guys.
I'll message you later. Love you, querida.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Bye.
Beijinhos,
Bye-bye.
bye.
That was a great interview with
It
Marisa.
was.
Thank you, Marisa, for your
Thank you,
time.
querida.
Thank you, and I hope you guys...
It's not easy to talk
No.
about that too. For her,
That's
not
hard.
easy because he was a very
Good friend.
good friend.
Yeah.
Still is. I mean,
Yes.
you just can't deal with it.
Yeah.
You can't. A pessoa não pode. Chega um certo ponto que a pessoa diz assim. E não sei mais o que é de fazer.
Yes.
Porque imediatamente eles não querem. Porque talvez pensavam, ela está aqui porque ela quer que mude,
Yeah.
porque ela quer mudar, porque ela quer que deixe, e
Pois eles não querem.
eles não querem, e é da maneira, talvez ela ia lá e ela estava vendo já que ele não estava, já que ela, não.
Yes.
Os pais deviam estar contentes dela ter ido velha,
Yeah.
julgando talvez que isso ia se encaminhar para um outro caminho
Yes.
melhor. Ai, aquela esperança que a gente
Yes.
tem. Ai, ela está vindo aqui, está visitando. Ele vai dizer, ai, está se lembrando do passado e ele... Mas pronto, não, aquilo já está muito adiantado.
E como a Marisa diz, para o bem dela, ela teve que sair daquilo.
Pois.
Estava a fazer... Mentally, it messes with your head.
Se tu não estás preparada, como a gente, quando isso acontecer a teu irmão, a gente ficamos todos muito doentes,
Yeah.
nervosos, ansiosos, e sempre com as cabeças desassogadas de dia, de noite, especialmente quando ele desaparecia-se, porque faz-nos mal. E que estava começando a fazer mal à Marisa também, porque da maneira talvez que ele falava,
E mostrava e ela dizia...
aquelas coisas que ele dizia a ela e tudo, e aquilo começou, porque tu não estás preparada
Não.
para isto.
Não.
Tu tens que ser um professional, tens que estar muito
You can... Yeah.
a pessoa tem que saber como é que lidar
É
com...
muito trabalho, querida. É
Não.
muito trabalho.
Por isso é que eu digo, que quando you don't know what to do anymore,
Let go.
you have to let go. Quando tu chegas ao fim, end of your ropes,
Yes.
chegas ao fim, boneco vazio, já não podes fazer mais nada. É
Yes.
quando tu começas assim, não posso fazer nada. I have to let go.
Yes.
Assim, foi quando eu fiz aquela decisão. Teu pai já tinha feito há muito tempo esta decisão.
Yeah.
Mas eu não, eu fui a última
Yeah.
a fazer a decisão.
Yeah.
A dizer assim, não,
Yeah.
isto não pode ser. A
Yes.
gente experimentou tudo, não queres. Pronto, não podes dormir mais aqui. Aqui não vais comer, aqui, porque tu, a gente está vendo que não queres fazer o que a gente diz, tu não queres. Só estás aqui usando, eles usam a família, porque ele abusou da família toda. Ele ia para a casa daquela, comia, para a casa do outro, lavava, assim, não. E quando tu chegas a um ponto que não podes aguentar mais a situação, dizes, desculpa, mas aqui não vens mais.
Não.
E aquilo dói o coração.
Oh, of course.
Aquilo dói o coração. E quando ele saiu pela porta fora e foi, e ainda ouvi ele aqui com a bicicleta a virar aquele canto ali.
Yeah.
Aquilo dói muito. Corta o coração.
Yeah.
Mas também a gente tem que tomar conta da gente.
Yeah.
You have to take care of yourself. You can't let your son or your daughter abuse you.
No, you can't.
Chega-se a ponto e diz, como é isto? Não...
Ficar muito a 24 horas por dia a pensar nisto. Acordar a pensar, dormir a pensar, no trabalho a pensar, em casa a pensar e nunca acaba porque ele não quer mudar.
Ele não quer.
Ou ela.
Ele não está nas nossas vidas há muito anos, assim, right? Ele não está nas nossas vidas há uns aninhos acrescentados. Mas ele ainda está... Ele não tem controle das nossas vidas mais. Mas estamos aqui a falar na situação. Isso é forever.
Forever.
Ele não está nas nossas vidas, não está usando a nossa casa, não está nada. Mas
we're still
focused on
this addiction.
But on a way,
healthy way.
It's a healthy way because I feel healthier.
Yes.
I feel stronger.
Yes.
I feel, I let it go with love, saying, okay,
yes.
God is going to take care of you. I can't take care of it. Whatever you decide to do, I love you.
And when I talked to my brother, when I saw him about 2 years ago, if it had been 10 years ago and I was still drinking, it would have been a big fight in that Salvation Army. I would have said, you that, you get out of here, I don't want nothing to do with you. But I already had gone through my own addiction.
Yes.
I already had begun my journey with Christ.
Yes.
And seeing him, I was able to see him the way God wanted me to see him, not the way I remembered him.
Yeah.
God wanted me to see him as a human being that's just in a bad place.
In a bad place.
And Chelsea got to say what she wanted to say, but I wanted to say, I told my brother, Bobby, I told myself one day, I don't want to drink no more. And that's it. I didn't go back.
You made the decision not to drink anymore, not to have a glass of wine anymore.
Why can't he do that? I said no more. A lot of people say, okay, I'm done, and walk away. Why?
Because, não sei, ele começou muito novo a fazer isto.
It probably doesn't even get him high anymore.
When you start drinking, no matter 13-year-old, then no.
No, querida, 30.
Exatamente. Mas ele começou muito novo nisto. Aquilo foi, aquela addiction foi aumentando, até que chegou um ponto que ele só via aqui, só que a ponto de roubar para poder ter o que ele queria. Quer dizer, estava too deep e ele nunca fez uma decisão de parar. Porque ele teve oportunidades. Quando ele ia para a cadeia e estava lá a week or two, tinham encontrado um saquinho de marihuana. Ali naquela altura.
Ele teve na cadeia.
Ele teve 8 meses.
Na cadeia, 8
meses.
E ele disse que ele tomou mais droga lá que na rua.
Diz ele. 8 meses. E naqueles 8 meses não deu para pensar. Os meus pais, o que é que eu estou fazendo aos meus pais, à minha irmã, a única irmã que eu tenho. Eles não se importam. Mas nós temos, eles não se importam, mas nós temos que tomar conta da gente. Temos que tomar conta da nossa vida. Ir para a cama com a cabeça sossegada, não com tantas vezes que se ia para a cama, que ia para a cama com a cabeça, toda a noite pensava onde é que ele está e o que é que ele está fazendo e não. É uma coisa horrorosa que eu não desejo a mãe nenhuma. Não desejo a mãe nenhuma e
It's horrific.
Oh, God.
And we only do this Caminhada to relive it because we are hoping que vai ajudar alguém. A gente não está fazendo isto, mas isto tem de ser terapia para eu, mas a minha mãe. Porque eu tenho dito coisas à minha mãe que ela não sabia e ela também tem dito coisas que eu não sabia. E a gente está, no Senhor quer que a gente...
We're healing each other.
Yes. We leave, God doesn't. We leave, but God doesn't. He's always there. So if we just ask him, God, help get through another day. Tomorrow is a new day.
É exato o que eu disse até pai hoje. Ele estava muito cansado, andei mais um bocadinho, coisa. E estávamos a falar porque, pronto, ele estava muito cansado, essa coisa toda. E disse, vamos ver o que é para amanhã. Eu disse, olha, hoje vamos viver o momento.
Yeah.
A gente vive este momento agora, aqui e agora. Estamos aqui e isto é agora o momento. Porque é da maneira que a gente se sente, para mim, a gente se sente melhor e eu já digo isso muitas vezes até pai, sabes que ele não aceita essas coisas, mas ele aceita, isso é verdade, tens razão, estamos aqui agora, amanhã, a gente não sabe o amanhã, vamos viver agora, porque estamos bem, eu disse assim, olha, estamos bem, pegaste no carro, estás conduzindo, estamos bem, aqui e agora, amanhã há de se ver, porque eu não sei se há mais pessoas que eu não posso estar pensando no amanhã. A não ser que vai ter que arranjar as unhas amanhã para não me esquecer do apontamento. Mas, quer dizer, aquela coisa, o dia da manhã, senhor, isto vai-se passar. Não posso. Não posso.
Não podes. E ninguém pode fazer isto. I wanted to give you guys the number, the hotline, 24 hours, 7 days a week. You guys, if you are a family member, if you are a drug addict, if you are hearing this and you're thinking about doing drugs, please, this number is available to you at 1-800-662-4357.
1-800-662-4357.
Thank you.
Help.
662-HELP.
E aquilo é 24 hours.
24 hours, 7 days a week.
Ou seja, há uma coisa, alguém vai estar para falar com vocês.
Yes.
Pronto. Deus concede-me a serenidade para aceitar as coisas que eu não posso modificar, a coragem para mudar as coisas que posso e sabedoria para saber a diferença.
Amém. Mais um episódio.
Ao conta de Deus, este foi um episódio
Exciting.
sucesso para a gente. Temos que pôr nos nossos notes.
Yes.
Que já pus. Tivemos a convidada, que é a nossa nova fadista. A gente antigamente dizia era a fadista da nova vaga. Isto é uma vaga, isso é uma coisa que está a passar. E ela é a fadista de agora. Porque as outras, já ouvimos várias, eu conheço outras fadistas que tiveram contando até lá embaixo.
Já está muito bom a fazer.
E a Marisa é uma coisa nova que está aparecendo.
E diferente, ela está
fresca.
Yes.
E os outros todos contam muito bem, claro. Mas quer dizer, ela é nova, ela está começando só. Ou seja, escapem a Marisa. E é uma honra para nós ela estar aqui com a gente hoje.
Uma linda voz.
E se calhar ela deu. Ela é como aquela bandeira que vai na frente e atrás dela vai vir muitas.
Oxalá que sim, para ela. She put blood, sweat and tears into that project.
Sim.
And we put our blood, sweat and tears into this project.
Até
a gente...
A Marisa perguntou, ela perguntou-nos assim, antes da entrevista, Vocês vão fazer sempre isto.
Listen, how long are you gonna go?
How long you gonna go?
As long as it takes.
As long as it takes to go. E as long a gente...
He'll tell us when.
Sim.
God will tell us when.
God will tell us, quando eu já me esqueço, quando eu te vejo esquecida,
Yeah.
que eu vejo, eu já não me lembro de metade, aí a gente para. Ai, já não me lembro isto como era, vou parar, pronto. Isto já não está bom, a coisa não está boa. Não, mas agora, fora da brincadeira, a gente está, graças a Deus, temos saúde para fazer isso.
Yeah.
E Nosso Senhor está-nos dando forças para que a gente possa falar isso, talvez ajudar alguém.
Temos ajudado.
E temos ajudado já.
Yeah.
Já temos ajudado alguém.
Yeah.
E pronto, a gente disse preciso. Se a gente ajudar uma ou duas pessoas, já estamos contentes.
Caminhada, já fico contente com uma. We love you guys. Thank you for being with us today.
Yeah, thank you so much.
May you have a blessed 2 weeks.
2 weeks com muita paz. O paz e saúde é o principal. Entre vocês e as vossas famílias.
Vocês querem vir rezar com a gente?
Sim, vocês quiserem por rezar o terço que é mais, quanto mais melhor, porque a gente está a pedir pelo mundo, pelas famílias, pela guerra, estamos a pedir por tudo. E agora temos 1 minuto, não é?
Estamos 1h06.
Já passamos.
Yeah.
Há de ser no próximo episódio eu falo sobre...
Escreva para não te esqueceres.
Temos que falar sobre como é que isto principiou e como é que estão o terço.
Do terço, yeah.
Do terço aos domingos.
Yeah, mas
Que a gente quer dizer aqui.
3h30, vocês vão na minha mantrazinha e a gente estamos lá todos os domingos para rezar, para cantar, para conviver uns com os outros. É uma comunidade, as pessoas já conhecem uns aos outros, já falam uns com os outros.
Pois.
It's beautiful.
Temos pessoas
Yes.
de muitos lugares.
Yes, thank you guys.
São Miguel,
Canadá,
Canadá,
Bermuda, Austrália.
Temos muita gente.
E oxalá que vocês... And you know what I wanted to say too? This caminhada, we do this too so you guys can. If you notice, we talk in a lower voice. We have music. This is a time to listen and maybe meditate. And even if it doesn't apply to your life, our story is still a story.
Yes.
And we have a beautiful mother-daughter story that we're able to do this together. And we didn't know going into this what we would do, but
Exactly.
amen. We love you guys.
Love you, beijinhos.
Tell us how you
queridos.
loved this episode because we loved making it.
Yes.
Bye-bye.
Bye
God
bye.
bless.
Beijinhos. God bless.